Hello everyone, and welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. This is Dr. Whitney, Dr. Mom ND from Holistic Home Health and Wellness, and I am joining you on a wonderful sunny day here in Wisconsin. Well, I guess it was sunny. It looks a little cloudy now, but sorry I didn't get on right at noon today, but I realized there were so many different things that I wanted to remember to touch on in regards to EMF and the ongoing enlightenment of myself in this area that I wanted to take a few minutes to sit down and type it all out sort of in a chronological order so you can see how I myself have progressed through this process. So I'll just jump right in. So where I started was EMF came on my radar a few years ago. I think it was some different individuals I came across online or email articles or stories or things like that. And then I had a couple of EMF sensitive patients. So much so that the reason they found me was because I still am I do offer home visits. That was sort of the part of holistic home health and wellness that I offered the traditional house call back when I was starting out. And they were excited about that because their whole family was so EMF sensitive that they couldn't even come into the building to see me because we have Wi-Fi in the building. So I drove out to their house to do their food intolerance testing for their whole family. And they have, one landline, they have one hardwired internet connection with the computer that they only turn on and off as needed when they use it. There's no streaming, there's no Wi-Fi. They watch just regular old TV with an antenna. It felt like stepping back in time actually, and was very calming. I was kind of jealous. Just felt like, we went back to a simpler time. It was just quiet and nice, and they all seemed to be thriving very well in that environment. So she is an advocate for EMF stuff, and she will still email me. So I've always kind of stayed on the edge of things. She advocates for the safety of new studies for cell phones and EMF and radiation and things like that. And that was where I just went down this whole tunnel even a year or two ago, talking about how EMF can even affect your immune system. So it was just interesting then, fast forward right to this past, 6 months ago when I got the Contagion Myth book. And it was so interesting that between Dr. Cowan and Sally Fallon Morrell and their research in that book and connecting it to people like Arthur Furstenberg, who wrote the historical connections and perspectives of how electricity has affected health throughout the years, that just like everything was falling together for me. So, I kind of always knew it was there. It was something I wanted to dive into, and to be quite honest, as much information as I have to share with you today, this is still just the tip of the iceberg. I am by no means an expert on this. I definitely want to learn more, and I continue to sign up for every podcast, every, online summit. There's one going on right now. I think it's called the Body Electric Summit 2.0. Try to find it if you can. It's super interesting. In fact, Dr. Cowan is one of the speakers today. He's talking about the structured water thing. So my simple things I started out doing were using a power strip that was my Wi-Fi was connected to, the Wi-Fi router, and then you turn that on as a timer. On the one side, it's a timer device. So you can you choose the times. So on one side of the power strip, anything plugged into this side was timed to turn off from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So we started turning off Wi-Fi at night. We moved the router from one side of the house to the opposite other side in the basement, so it wasn't directly under the baby's room at that time. I started turning my phone on airplane mode at night. I actually noticed that I seemed to sleep significantly better just doing that. And then charged it away from my bed, like across the room. So one thing I have to say I have not done yet, which is definitely, I just have to get my husband on board because he's gotten very attached to his device. I want to go back to having a landline. I want a landline in our house, and what the Weston A. Price Foundation is now promoting, called the new etiquette, is that when you're in someone's home, you turn your cell phone off. Just like you don't walk into someone's home and smoke cigarettes, right? Because that's kind of what we're talking about here, that EMF is the new tobacco, right? The new cigarette scandal. And for how many years did they try to promote cigarettes as safe? And doctors even endorsed cigarettes. There are doctors in ads for Camel cigarettes, for instance, saying, the best physicians smoke Camels. And it took us, 50, 60, 70 years to learn about the effects of smoking. And I would argue that it's even more dangerous because with EMF, there's no coughing, right? There's no lung stuff. There's no smell. There's no odor. There's no smoke. You can't see it. You can't smell it. So it's almost scarier in that regard because we've become so attached to the devices and the convenience, and the quickness of everything, right? Like, quick, let me get on this app and order something and it'll be here tomorrow, right? I still remember getting the JCPenney catalog that was like this thick when I was in, elementary school, and like being so excited for the back to school, and I'd flip through it and like circle all the things I want. And I remember, writing it all down and listening to my mom call on the phone and place the order, like, reading off every item number for the size and stuff. So point being, I want a landline in our home, and I want us to come home at night and turn our cell phones off, to not get sucked into group text messages, Snapchat videos, social media, and focus on kids and routine and family dinner and bedtime. And then fine, at 8:30 when the kids go to bed, if you want to get on your device, get on it. But we'll have a landline. Friends and family will be notified of the number. If there is an emergency, by all means call. If you want to talk to us about making plans for the weekend, by all means call. Or guess what? If it's not that important, it can wait until 9 o'clock. We can talk about it then, But it's an uphill battle right now. So the first answer I got when I proposed this was, no, we're absolutely not getting a landline. I'm not turning my phone off. And I was like, okay, we got some work to do here on this one. So that is something I want to work towards. That's still one of my goals. But above and beyond that, blue blocker glasses, again, not exactly EMF protection, but we're still talking about devices, right? Protection from the devices. So my blue blocker glasses I got from Amazon. They came in this little case. Sometimes you see me wear them, but I stop because they reflect the ring light. Kind of weird. I think these were maybe less than $20. So I wear those whenever I'm on a screen. I make my kids wear them whenever they get on a screen or watch TV for too long. And then the newer devices actually have options, if you haven't looked on a newer phone, for blue light reducing settings. We got a Fire tablet thing for my one son at Christmas because my old second generation iPad barely functions anymore for him to download shows on and watch intermittently. And it actually right in the drop down menu has this little symbol that looks like somebody in bed, and when you tap it, the whole screen kind of turns to this red hue. So that's like the setting for turning the blue light off. Okay, so what else did I do? Initially, one of the first things I found was the safe sleeve phone covers, which I have talked about before. So this is kind of what they look like. This one is the one where the phone is, it's in there, it doesn't come out. And then the other, I have it off my phone right now so I can show you something else. But this one is a magnet in it, and so this, when you put the phone in it, sits in the case and you can take it out of the case. So that's actually kind of handy. It's like falling apart. Look at how well worn and loved that was. So that was one of the first things I did. And from their site, what they claim is that those cases do reduce radiation. Okay. So I'm still learning again about some of this because there's differences between harmonizing, neutralizing, and actual reduction of radiation. So safe sleeve phone covers actually say that they incorporate their radiation shielding technology, which has been tested in an FCC accredited lab to show electromagnetic radiation, including the most common 5G frequencies, reductions of up to 99%. They claim, unlike most other products, it blocks multiple types of radiation from your electronic devices. Up to 99% of radio frequencies, which is RF, up to 92% of extremely low frequencies, which is ELF, and thermal, okay? So they said their shielding material is made of a lightweight, lead-free metallic alloy foil. It's specially engineered to block all three types of radiation emitted by your device, which I know a lot of studies talk about the thermal. So I guess if there's just one habit thing you can do that you don't need a device for at all, it's don't ever don't talk to your cell phone. Don't talk on your cell phone on your face. Talk away on speaker mode or Bluetooth in your car or something like that. So again, back when, how many years ago was this? Almost 10, when I did my grand rounds talks on infertility for men and women. With men, one of the first things way back then was don't put your cell phone in your pocket. So if the thermal effects then of carrying your phone in your pocket affected your sperm count and formation, I mean, think about what else it could be doing, right? So they do these thermal scans of people's heads and they show like, you know, how hot they are when you've been on your phone for 15 minutes or whatever. So that's one really easy thing to do, besides getting cases, right? The next thing I came across and tried was the energy dots, which I have one. Oh, it's on my computer. So it's just a little sticker. It's about this big. It just says energy dot on it, but the company itself makes like 4 or 5 different kinds of these things. So I have one on my tablet, laptop, and initially on the router, and then on our streaming sticks. Now, I believe this is more of a harmonizing device. So it says that dots are basically slim magnets. Magnets have been used as storage devices for decades. Each dot radiates natural harmonizing fields. It is the nature of the information that does the work and creates positive change. The combination of harmonizing fields encoded onto each type of dot is different. For example, a bio dot is different than the information on an aqua dot versus an energy dot, which are the ones for the devices. It says they use a proprietary digital platform called Programmed Harmonic Interface Technology, PHIT, to encode information onto each dot. Okay, fine. So I bought some of those. Didn't really notice anything, so I pulled the trigger and bought an EMF reader that has also the RF and ELF frequency reading. So the one I got was on Amazon. It was around $150. And sure enough, on some things, you know, like with the safe sleeve phone cover, depending, you know, if the phone cover folds over and the phone's still sticking out here, you could actually still get a reading here, but, you know, around it, it did reduce it. The energy dots, I couldn't really tell. So that's where I started to get kind of suspicious about, you know, what is harmonizing versus actually reducing things. Another goal that I had back then was to Ethernet our house, which apparently I've misunderstood slightly. So again, I listened to someone else speak about this, and they talked about power line adapters. So the brand I found on Amazon was TP-Link. They're power line adapters, Ethernet, and then I got Ethernet adapter cords for our streaming sticks. So notably the Fire Stick. So Amazon has their own little like adapter thing that the stick plugs into, and then you can plug the Ethernet cable into, so you're not using Wi-Fi. But the power line adapter is still plugged into Wi-Fi, into your router. So what I've been told recently is that it's not technically hardline Ethernet. It is using your existing power line in your house, but it's more of a receiver. So it's like, instead of having the Wi-Fi go like all over the place and then the device like suck it from everywhere, it's like a receiver. So it plugs into one wall where the Ethernet cable goes into the router, and then you plug another one into an outlet like anywhere else in the house, and they pair. And so it's like a receiver. So it shoots like the direct signal from one to the other. And where that one is, there's another Ethernet cable that goes into the device. So like I've got an Ethernet cable now to a computer because my husband works from home. So he's got a much more stable and faster connection. I have a cord that's plugged in upstairs for my laptop when I do work at home. And actually our newest TV, we don't even need the Fire Stick or the adapter. The Ethernet cable plugs right into the back of the computer. So the TV is now like basically a tablet because there's apps right on it. It has like a web OS, it says. So that was one thing I did, but my goal someday would be, if we built a house, to actually put hard line wiring in, which apparently that's the difference between the cord that has 4 wires and the one that has 5 and 6. I think this was my sort of understanding from the person who told me this, is that 5th and 6th wire are the ones that like do the data basically. So we'll see, still learning on that. Then I moved on to working with a company called Hedron EMF. So I wanted to set up a wholesale account with them to carry some of their products in the store. They had things for phones and devices that were specifically approved for 5G, which was interesting to me, reading how much more dangerous this new 5G stuff is supposed to be. So they have a bunch of different things. I put a larger one on our router at home, and then I got personal ones for our phones, and then they have these personal like tabs you can carry too, and I did this on one of my Mommy Monday things real quick. So it's just this tiny little thing, real thin, so you like carry this around with you. You just put it in your pocket or keep it in your wallet or whatever, as well as this is then what's on the back of my phone right now. So they call it a 5G Elite Human Performance Technology Enhanced. So and then I also got the smart meter screen from them. So it's just like this wire mesh thing that goes right over our smart meter at home. Although I did recently learn also that there's a way I can contact our power company and have them remove that meter and put the standard one back in. So that's on my to-do list too. Okay, so Hedron EMF. The smartphone thing does say phone harmonizer, but they're also using minerals. So I'll read you what I have off of their website. Electromagnetic shielding effectiveness of 99.95% when tested at a frequency of 9.3 gigahertz. The latest phones are operating at a maximum frequency of 2.1 gigahertz. So this shield is tested to shield radiation even at a frequency much, much higher. When the shield is stuck on the earpiece hole of the mobile phone or on the front or back side, as near to the earpiece as possible, it immediately starts to shield radiation and reducing heat of the mobile phone thanks to the mineral technology and scalar technology employed in the shield. Certain earth minerals have the capability to successfully harmonize the radiation, EMF, and reduce the heat of the mobile phones. We have employed this unique mineral technology plus scalar technology in creating this need of our gadget. On their website, on their homepage, if you do hedronemf.com, I think, their homepage, they had a cool video that was about your biofield. So exactly what we've been talking about, right? Like all living things have energy, have frequency. You have a biofield around you of energy and frequency. You know, it's chi, it's energy. How does it all tie together? There's a short video on their homepage that looked pretty interesting. They also have some new larger home devices that I haven't tried yet. And mainly that's because I'll get to it later. I found a different one I ordered already. So chronologically then, about this time is when I started reading The Contagion Myth. They started talking about the invisible rainbow. So just a reminder, if you don't already, this is what The Contagion Myth looks like. That was by Dr. Cowan and Sally Fallon Morell. And then they heavily reference the invisible rainbow by Arthur Furstenberg. So dove into those, ended up on Amazon again. And when I was looking at ordering those books, these products called Defender Shield company, products kept coming up. So they've got like scarves and blankets and all these things that have like fibers of metal or wire or something in them that, you know, protects you from EMF. So I don't know, have fun, look at that. I don't have any of those things yet. But what I did get was, I think I've showed you before, this, you see it, this pendant. So this is Vibe Source pendant, mineral based. From their website, they say their products are lab tested for safety and proven to block out electromagnetic frequencies. We recommend wearing this pendant during the day, taking it off at night. The minerals in the pendant are blended with lava stone to neutralize EMF waves and to ground your energetic frequency. Try not to let other people wear or touch it. You can clean it by running it under fresh water source and leaving it out in the sun for 15 to 20 minutes. We recommend washing the pendant in fresh mountain, spring, or ocean water to recharge the negative ions. Now, again, that ties in perfectly to that stuff that Dr. Cowan was talking about with the structured water molecules, right? That fourth phase of water where it's structured and that natural movement in nature creates that. And he talks about that, you know, how that's so healing to sit in the deep mineral springs and the running, you know, mountain streams and things like that. So I thought that was cool. The minerals combine to create a negative ion charge, which counteracts positive ions that are emitted by wireless technology and electronic usage. Now, when I read that, I went, wait a minute, negative ions, isn't that how Himalayan salt lamps work too? So I just put a note in there. Like, I have Himalayan salt lamps all over our house. I have one in the living room, one in my kids' room, one downstairs. I have night lights that also have Himalayan salt over the night light. So I've got 3 of those around the house too, in the bathrooms and things for at night. So if I remember right, the whole thing about Himalayan salt lamps was also negative ions. So maybe some good there too. Now again, a couple of these things have talked about these minerals. I can't find all the specific minerals, but some of them will say like, oh, it's a blend of 27 minerals. Lloyd Burrell writes a email, what do you call it? Like a subscription, whatever, newsletter called Electric Sense Emails. So he was the guy that I get a lot of stuff from. He promotes other people's talks and products and things. And one lady who talked was talking about the mineral shungite, Shungite. So I'm assuming this has got to be one of the things, because other companies talk about the minerals and they'll maybe mention shungite, or I've heard it mentioned in other, blogs and presentations. So what I found is it's a carbon-rich stone believed to reduce inflammation, oxidative stress, and EMF exposure. Some also claim it can purify water and relieve emotional stress. So there's that. And then recently I got the Harmony pendant, which I'm not totally sure how it works exactly, but I think it's more about energy fields. They don't say anything about minerals. They just have studies that show when they looked at imbalances in chakras and meridians that it basically balanced them like 50% better. They also had studies about stress and other physical symptoms too. So when you get your Harmony, Harmony pendant, it looks like this. So there's a couple different sizes. There's like one that's a quarter size and one that's a nickel. So this is the nickel size. It actually has holes in it, which is interesting. So you have to activate it, which is interesting. So I watched the video last week about how to activate it, and basically all you do is take a ruler and put it on your chest and stick it straight out, and you put the pendant on the other end and you hold it there for 2 minutes, and that's supposed to basically harmonize it with your biofield, your energy. So there's all kinds of testimonials from doctors and celebrities and stuff saying that it helped them sleep better and gave them better energy and clear thinking and stuff. So I'm going to try that one too, but I'm not going to try it at the same time as my Vibe Source pendant, because I want to know I notice a difference between them. So let's see, the Vibe Source pendants I'm hoping I can sell in the store. The Harmony pendants, they only offer affiliate, so I mean I can have a link on my website, but I can't sell them directly, so go ahead and look if you want. All that's available online. I mentioned Lloyd Burrell and his Electric Sense emails. One of those emails led me to Trevor King. I think he was in England or Ireland, maybe Ireland. But I watched his EMF presentation last week, and he's running replays of it right now, and it is amazing. I think it's an hour and a half long. And he just has so much information. Like I just do not have the time and focus to read right now, which is stupid because I just bought 3 more books. But if you want to find someone to listen to, I don't know, try to go to Lloyd Burrell's website or whatever, or look up Trevor King, see if you can find a way to sign up for his EMF presentation. So listening to that presentation, I found, like I said, more books, which I'm super excited to read. So the one he talked about first and foremost was the new one by Dr. Mercola called EMF'd, which you gotta admit is kind of a funny play on words. But 5G, Wi-Fi, and cell phones, hidden harms and how to protect yourself. So the reviews I read on this one said this was written very straightforward. It's got very practical ways to start making changes around your home and protect yourself. So I'll probably read that one first, but then the other ones that he recommended were, was it this? No, it was this one, Radiation. Can you see it without the light on it? Radiation Nation, Fallout of Modern Technology, your complete guide to EMF protection and safety. The proven health risks of EMF radiation emitted from mobile devices and what you can do to protect yourself and your family. And this one is like, it's almost like, I feel like it's a little kid book. The print is so big in spacing, so it's pretty thin. It'd probably be a quick read. But while I was looking at this one popped up, and I thought, gosh, this one looks interesting too, and it's also very thin. So this is called Dirty Electricity, Electrification and the Diseases of Civilization, the 2nd edition by Samuel Milham. He's a doctor. Actually, he's a physician epidemiologist specializing in public health. He has more than 100 scientific publications, many dealing with the health effects of electricity. In 1997, he even was awarded a prize for his, the Ramazzini Prize for his pioneering work in describing the occupational cancer risks of electromagnetic fields. So it's interesting. So just the first thing on the back says, when Thomas Edison began wiring New York City with a direct current electricity distribution system in the 1880s, he gave humankind the magic of electric light, heat, and power. In the process, though, he inadvertently opened a Pandora's box of unimaginable illness and death. So anyways, I think that one looks good too. So those are the books that I got. And at the end of the presentation that Trevor did, he introduced Synergy Science, which I love because it was founded by a naturopathic doctor. Yay! So their company has a big thing with this hydrogen water process equipment that they do too, which I haven't even looked into at all. But they sold me right away on their WaveGuard key devices. So QI, like I think it's supposed to be like qi, like in Chinese medicine. They claim that all of these other things that I've talked about do not do what their device does. That harmonizing devices do not protect you from the actual radiation effects, essentially. So they claim they are the only company that has a double-blinded, placebo-proven EMF exposure reduction. So I ordered the personal one, which is, you know, to keep you like in an office in your workspace. And then I started... because you have to be a customer first, and then I started a wholesale account. So I'm hoping to offer those devices in the store as well. So I ordered the home device, and we'll see what happens. It's supposed to protect an area of like 50 feet to either side and like 10 feet or 14 feet above and below or something like that. I'm not gonna lie, they're very expensive, but this is my investment in finding solutions and protecting my family's health and potentially helping others protect their health as well. So I know there was a lot of stuff. If you have questions, please write in the comments or shoot me a message or an email. Email is drwhit, DRWHIT, at HHHANDwellness.net. So that is all of my EMF updates galore for today. I continue my EMF reducing journey, as I said, and as I come across new products and learn new things, I will be sure to share them all with you. So thank you so much for joining me today. This is Dr. Whitney, Dr. Mom ND with another Wellness Wednesday, and I'll see you all next week. See you later.